Welcome back to Butterfly Effect Tarot. My name is Lorraine, and today's topic is Will Your Future Spouse Be Rich? There are going to be three groups, and the timestamps for each group will be in the description box in the comment section below. If the readings and messages resonate, please feel free to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments if you choose. To all of my subscribers and returning viewers, as always, I graciously thank you and I appreciate your support. To newer viewers, welcome. And if interested after this video, you may return to the channel. There are other topics, videos, and readings there as well. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into each one of your messages. Welcome to your reading, Pile 1, regarding Will Your Future Spouse Be Rich? So I've already pre-shuffled and pulled 5 cards. We're going to identify the 5 cards that came through, and then we will get into your reading. So the first card out is the King of Pentacles, followed by the Queen of Pentacles. And then we have the Empress, followed by the Star card. And then the final card out is the Page of Swords. Bottom of the deck energy is the Lovers. So with the King and Queen of Pentacles coming out first, which I absolutely love, I think that kind of already answers our question. But there is a bit of a backstory I'm getting here, especially with some of the cards that did kind of show itself during the shuffling process. I feel like the feminine energy here is going to come in and kind of be something of like a good luck charm, like a guiding light, kind of an inspiration to this masculine energy. I do feel like maybe the masculine energy is somebody who may be financially comfortable, or they may be somebody that's already hardworking, or perhaps in the middle of trying to find and achieve financial abundance when you two come together. And I think what's going to happen is either you will work together and meet at work, or you will come together to collaborate on a business or some sort of creative endeavor and build your wealth and Ten of Pentacles together. But with the Empress coming out, this denotes that the feminine energy is that this is going to be one of two things. Either one, the feminine energy is somebody who is more of a support system to this person, as I mentioned, somebody who comes in and you kind of help this person birth new ideas, because the Star card comes out after the Empress, and the Star card is about renewal and good fortune. It's about inspiration, and also optimism. So I feel like maybe this person has been building on the masculine energy has been building on their own. They've been trying to maybe climb the social ladder with the Page of Swords. They've been just honing in on their skills and kind of going through different lessons in life and learning and trying to grow. And then when the feminine energy comes in, it might feel more like a puzzle piece coming together, especially with the Lovers at the bottom. This is going to be a very passionate couple. With the Lovers, this is something that's very deep and intense and usually very transformative. So I feel like this will transform both of you, but I especially feel like this will transform the masculine energy. The feminine energy feels very intuitive and very spiritual, but also somebody that's very practical. So there's a beautiful balance here with the feminine energy that I feel serves this masculine and this connection very well. With the Lovers coming in as well, maybe you two will be able to manifest together, because this is like I stated, a very intense connection, and it kind of gives me Plutonian energy, Scorpionic energy, which is usually transformative, especially through intimacy. So you two may be able to have, or you may experience tantric sex. You may be able to experience, again, this type of deep, almost otherworldly experience when you're intimate with one another. And I feel like you're able to kind of bring everything that you wanted to fruition. But there could also be, as I mentioned, one or two things with this Empress. Either you're a support system that comes in and creates clarity for this person, or again, more of a comforting figure that kind of creates this home environment that creates the stability that helps this person to birth their own ideas, or the feminine energy is going to be a key figure in this business. So what that means is that maybe the feminine energy is the star of the show, if you will, or somebody who is kind of like behind the scenes, but the person that is the creator or cause of the success is kind of giving me the energy of Jeff Bezos and his wife when they were kind of building Amazon. How, from what I understand, she was like the key point behind like the business plan, and like I think Prime and all these different things that kind of really transformed the company. He was kind of the face, who we knew, but behind the scenes they were working together as this power couple, and she was like the business savvy kind of pivotal person in the connection that transformed this into such a huge success, or who helped to transform it into such a huge success. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. But the feminine energy is you are going to be the source, or the kind of trigger point or reason behind your future spouse's wealth and abundance. And as I stated, I do feel like this is a power couple. I do feel like you're both hardworking, both loyal, both stable, definitely two individuals who tend to enjoy the finer things in life. I do feel like maybe you will travel, you will spend a lot of time together. I feel like you will work together and you will enjoy time at home together. But there is definitely an energy here where coming together creates abundance for the both of you. Now, it is the King and Queen of Pentacles. So, as noted, you two could already have a certain level of financial stability when you come together. You two could have already started working on your own businesses separately, or working within the same company, or just building your own empire and wealth on your own, because the King and Queen of Pentacles are very independent. One or both of you could already be parents, and potentially single parents, because these are, especially with the Queen of Pentacles, single parent archetypes, and it is coming out with the Empress. So you both could have other people that rely on you as well, perhaps. If not parents, you have your own parents that rely on you, or other people that you financially support or that you nurture and love. But there is a dynamic here where, even though you both may have your own sense of independence and financial stability, when you come together, I do feel like this is a couple that will create a Ten of Pentacles legacy and empire with one another. This is going to be a very, very, very close connection. Very close. This kind of feels like you two against the world type of energy, or essentially you two creating your own world. But I feel like you two are going to be equally yoked. There's a sense of the feminine energy may add an air of spiritual transformation or spirituality to this masculine energy, because again, the high priestess did show itself, and so did the hermit. So, and with the empress coming out here, I feel like maybe both of you are very spiritual, because the hermit could have represented the King of Pentacles, and then the high priestess could have represented the Queen of Pentacles. But I feel like even if you're both spiritually kind of in a tune, I feel like the feminine here with this Empress is even more so. So for this group, some of you could maybe have a business or creative endeavor that has to do with spirituality, or maybe helping other people to transform and heal, because the Page of Swords is out here, and that's about intellect. It's about learning. It's the student, but usually the student becomes the teacher. So I feel like for this group, again, there could be a dynamic where you are doing something that has to do with the emotions, or this is again very practical. So some of you, it could just be a business that you work in, or creating some sort of a sales or online. With the Page of Swords, it could be something online. But I feel for this group with the lovers, this is a couple that tends to attract attention. This is kind of giving me the energy of the wands, and very magnetic and alluring. So I do feel like for this group, for a small select few of you, you could be seen or as very popular within your own community or on a public level. But there is definitely, definitely finance and abundance here. Definitely, like there's going to be a legacy of wealth here. I feel like you each, again, individually are very independent and very successful on your own. But together, like the level of wealth, maybe you two will blend your finances and invest it in something that will create wealth. Or as I stated, you two could be working on separate businesses, but maybe in the same industry, and it brings you together, and then you kind of collaborate. But there is wealth and abundance with your future spouse, but I feel like you come in, and that's where the wealth and abundance comes in, or the feminine energy comes in, or the masculine energy comes in, or again, you come together, because the Red Pentacle showed itself. So this could be meeting at work. Maybe you both have a high ranking position in a company. That's very possible. Or maybe the feminine energy works for the masculine, or the masculine works for the feminine, or you both are climbing the ranks of success at the same time, and you two kind of meet on this. But I feel like for this group, you may start out as this may start out as something platonic, right? Because the lovers is at the bottom, but the King and Queen of Pentacles they tend to be very focused and very business minded, very conservative. So this is kind of giving me the energy of you start working with this King of Pentacles first as, platonic individuals, just kind of, wanting to build something together, and you're both steadfast and focused. And I feel like I feel like you both will fall in love with each other because of the lovers at the bottom, but I feel like the masculine will be falling head over heels with the feminine. Because with the Empress coming out, it's like they start out seeing the feminine as the Queen of Pentacles. They're equal match, somebody they can make wealth and abundance with, somebody they can find success and this level of stability with. And then they start to view you also as the Empress, as somebody who will be an ideal partner, an ideal parent. Especially if you're already a parent, they will see you as somebody who's very loving and nurturing, but also very practical and hardworking. Somebody who's very spiritual, somebody who's very attractive, very beautiful, very well put together, somebody who is able to manage work and career and home, right? Which is not always easy, but the Queen of Pentacles and Empress is giving a work-life balance. And I think that helps to serve the overall wealth that comes in for this couple. You two are definitely going to be a power couple together. And I do feel like you will be, for some of you with this lovers and this Empress, you will be seen, or for some of you, the Empress will be a key figure, right? Like some sort of I feel like because the Empress is all of the queens combined. And the Empress gives me star power. So I feel like maybe for some of you, either you as a couple will be seen with the lovers, very popular or publicly recognized, or the Empress is going to be publicly recognized. Like whatever business or creative endeavor you put out, maybe the feminine energy here is somebody who does something in the business or in the creative endeavor or passion project that you put out that puts the feminine energy front and center. But maybe the King of Pentacles is the business mind behind it. It's kind of giving me like Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, where they both were seen obviously in the show, but Lucy was like the key figure. This was like the star of the show, but Ricky was the one behind the scenes, kind of doing like working on the scripts and doing the business energy. But Lucy was the key figure who we were drawn to, who created this dynamic on the center stage that created the overall success because of her magnetism and her charisma. So definitely, it feels like maybe this is something where you two are healing, or maybe for some of you, you have like this very important path or purpose when it comes to creating something in the world that may serve the world. But I do feel like this is a couple that will be tied at the hip. Very much so. I feel like this starts out as wanting to just build something together and reach, success together. And then it turns into a lovers, from work to romance. And I do feel like this is a connection that will be overwhelmingly intense. Very much so. I mean, the most intense connection that you've ever experienced. This could be a twin flame or a high level soulmate, because lovers gives me that energy. But this essentially is somebody where you will view them as very irresistible. They will view you as irresistible. The masculine, especially, is going to find the feminine very sexy and seductive, very enticing. Somebody who is able to balance both energies. Yeah, with the good. This is going to be a very spiritually protected union with the star card. Very spiritually protected. I feel like you two will help each other. But again, this Queen of Pentacles, Empress archetype, this feminine, she is going to be very, very much a good luck charm in this situation. Very much. It's almost like the King of Pentacles energy will learn from the feminine. You may learn from each other, but I'm feeling like this feminine energy is a teacher of some sort. So maybe the feminine drawn to this, or the feminine in this may be an author or a motivational speaker. Or again, there's something about healing, something about communication, something about teaching, something about balance is coming through here. Something about balance. It could be different for each of you, but it's like it's something coming through, and I'm trying to make sure that I get out every single message that comes in. But this star card, again, the star, yeah, the feminine, I feel like this is going to be a star-studded couple, either very popular or very much seen by the public eye. But the feminine, especially, I'm getting, is going to be front and center. Maybe you come together and this person encourages you to pursue something that you've always wanted to pursue that puts you in the spotlight or that puts you out into the public more. Because I'm feeling like this feminine has the Midas touch, and this King of Pentacles has this business energy, this kind of leadership energy. And you two are both leaders, but again, I just feel like there's something here that is kind of very spiritual, very deep, very transformative. And I do feel an energy of this being a couple that is known on some level. Again, this doesn't have to mean that you are this global celebrity, but this message has come through quite a few times throughout certain readings, especially related to romance, but especially when it comes to the future spouse readings. And I'm getting here for this group that there may be some small or large level of notoriety. These are two very prominent figures. There's going to be some level of you're going to be a very honorable and respected couple, viewed as very, again, both very attractive, very intense, very sexy, very sultry, very creative, very powerful. But there's going to be a depth of intensity, yes, but I feel like for this group, people are going to know how deeply loyal and bonded you two are. This feels like a match made in heaven because you have the balance and stability and practicality and maturity and kind of deep rooted balance and harmony with the pentacles, the king and queen. But then with the lovers, you also have that underneath, that intense deep passion, and it's almost like you'd come together and you share in a passion. There's something that you two are both very equally um invested in, and you to invest in whatever this purpose, this cause, or this inner desire is, and you come together to bring it to the world or to put it out into the public. Because for each of you, it could be different. Some of you, like I said, could just run an online shop, or some of you could just be, run a life coaching business. Maybe for this group, you may be like a couple that helps to transform other couples, or maybe you may be come together and you're a couple that coaches other couples, or you help to transform relationships overall of every kind. Like your connection feels like the type of connection that's couple goals, and maybe it inspires with this star card and page of swords. It inspires other couples. It inspires other people. It inspires this type of need to be devoted. Almost like it kind of helps to reestablish this sense of the old school type of dynamic of loyalty to one another, planting the roots, the long term stability, building an empire, building a legacy, keeping that inner passion. This is going to be maybe a private couple. I do feel like this may be a very private couple. Like people may see you or know of you, or you may be popular, or again, very much successful and huge in terms of energy. But as a union, you're very private, and you could be very private about your finances. People will know that you have money. People will know that you both are wealthy and abundant. But I feel like there's a sense of your relationship is kept, the intimacy and the more closeness that you share is kept close to the between the two of you. And when people see you out and about, you're in this business energy. But there's always this energy around you too of passion and desire for one another that can be sensed and felt. And there could be other people desiring the both of you. I'm going to throw that out there because with the the king and queen of pentacles and the lovers, yeah, come on now. There's going to probably be other suitors, but again, I don't feel like this is the type of couple that will be tempted by anyone else. Like people will know that your devotion and eyes are only for one another. This is going to be a connection or a love that I feel like grows from it's going to grow very slowly or very gradually, but it's going to be a slow burn. And when you two do finally come together, it's going to be very explosive in the most beautiful way. But I feel like this is a connection where the passion will continue to grow, and the abundance and finance and success will continue to grow as well. So it's like your bond again fuels the growth of your wealth and abundance more and more. I feel like you get closer and closer as you work together, and that inner desire that's being shared and reciprocated between the two of you feeds into the growth of the external circumstances that you two have, and also spiritual. Yeah, but yeah, I like the synergy. But again, King and Queen of Pentacles coming out first, that kind of gives us our answer. And then you have the Star card of good fortune. You have the Empress, who is abundant and prosperity and prosperous and have this level of wealth. For a small select few of you, even though the King of Pentacles the masculine will have money, I feel like the feminine potentially may have more money or may be further along in her career, perhaps, or in her financial abundance than the King of Pentacles when this comes together. Otherwise, as I stated, that Empress is just going to fuel this and be a good luck charm. But I'm going to leave it there. And of course, if it resonated on any level, please feel free to like and subscribe. You can let me know in the comments if you choose. And if interested, you may return to the channel. There will be other topics, videos, and readings there as well. But other than that, thank you. Welcome to your reading pile 2 regarding will your future spouse be rich? So I've already pre-shuffled and pulled 5 cards. We're going to identify the 5 cards that came out and then we'll get into your reading. So the first card out is the Six of Cups followed by the Ace of Pentacles. And then we have the Four of Pentacles followed by the Ace of Wands. And then the final card out is the Six of Wands. Bottom of the deck energy is the Queen of Swords. So really quickly, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, masculine or feminine energy, the messages should apply no matter what. So for this group, there are a plethora of messages coming through. We are going to get into each one, so please bear with me, but there are definitely a lot of energies coming through. So first and foremost, for this group, I do feel like either you or your future spouse is going to be operating in this Ace of Wands, Six of Wands energy. Ace of Wands is pursuing passionate ventures and creative endeavors, things that you're passionate about, that you love. And then the Six of Wands is like public recognition. This is like success, achievements, goals. It could even be fame. So one of you are going to be operating this energy. I do feel like, honestly, the masculine in this will more than likely be in this energy, but with the Queen of Swords at the bottom, it could be you. But I'm getting this message strongly here that for the Queen of Swords, you more than likely are someone who uses something that you've went through in the past experience, growing up, past experiences from connections, things you've had to heal from as your career, right? So you may be doing something where you work behind the scenes. That's why I feel like, again, this masculine energy here is going to be the person that's more in the spotlight, or there's somebody that's just very successful, well respected, maybe popular and known in their community. This could be a King of Wands archetype, very sexy, very attractive energy, somebody who may have a lot of suitors. I feel like for the Queen of Swords energy, the feminine, you tend to keep to yourself. For those of the feminines drawn to this, you tend to be very protected and guarded over your energy. And you could be working in a career where you make money, and you have stability from that. But it's definitely something where you use your intellect, you'd use your inner wisdom, your spirituality, and something of an emotional healing nature, emotionally intelligent healing. But I feel like your future spouse is going to be somebody that is very wealthy, very successful, and it is going to be as a result of something that they do creatively. And for some of them, they're either going to be, again, a very prominent, well-known figure in the public, popular in their community, or they're going to be famous. But even though this person has this power and success, this masculine energy, the feminine energy kind of feels like the prize to this person. Right now, this person may have the energy even before you come together, where the masculine is kind of seen again as very powerful, very authoritative, very successful, very rich and wealthy. Like this may be eligible bachelorette type of person. But I feel like they view the Queen of Swords as the person that is the one to be won, because the Queen of Swords is not easy to get close to. This is a person that's guarded because they've been through a lot, they've had to heal, so they protect themselves. The Queen of Swords usually oftentimes reminds me of a mix of the Queen of Wands and the High Priestess, or the Queen of Wands and the Justice card. That's just the energy I get. The Queen of Swords is usually very attractive, very alluring in my opinion, very mysterious, and that mysterious energy tends to draw people in because people want to kind of know more. The Queen of Swords, the reason that it reminds me of that is because the Queen of Swords is somebody who's assertive. She's bold, she's courageous, she's outspoken and direct, very driven, very passionate, just like the Queen of Wands. However, she's also reserved, very private, very, kind of stoic, very authoritative, a defender, a protector, somebody that speaks truth and has clarity, like a justice. In private, like a high priestess, and intuitive. So again, I feel like for this group, you're going to be very attractive. You may have people that desire you, but for the feminines, but you could have an intimidating energy. I do feel like the masculine in this more kind of King of Wands archetype I'm getting, also has a kind of masculine energy, but it's more intimidating as well. But there's something here where the people that know this person, this masculine, they're going to feel like the Queen of Swords has power and authority. So for my feminines, you will have a certain level of power and authority over this person, which is interesting because they're more alpha, they're more intense, they're more direct. They're the boss. They're the leader in their own life. This is probably a person that usually tells other people what to do, or they're usually the one in control when it comes to work and how they live their life. They could have even been that way in past relationships they've had romantically. But when you come in, your energy is kind of unbothered and unimpressed with this person. It's like it doesn't matter how much money they have, how attractive they are, how many people want them, or even if they're famous or very powerful. You're in the Queen of Swords where you're unbothered by that. You're more, the feminine is more real, right? Queen of Swords is more invested in the mind, in what's right, and focused on, again, a realist. And this person's going to be attracted to that energy. They're gonna love the fact that they have to pursue the Queen of Swords. They're gonna love the fact that, the King of Wands is gonna love the fact that he has to kind of win the Queen of Swords over. This is someone who's not easy to get, and that could be why you feel like the prize, because it's like the Queen of Swords makes a choice. She chooses and makes decisions, right? And very picky, very meticulous, very much not easy to get close to. So with that being said, the fact that you don't, the feminine doesn't let anyone in, the fact that you choose this person and you allow them to get close, they feel like they've won, right? And rightfully so. They feel special, right? That they're allowed to have access to you when no one else is. And I do feel like the feminine here is also going to be somebody where they come to you as the final say, right? They come to you for advice, they come to you. And so for example, if somebody asks this person, can they borrow money? They're coming to you before they loan it. And whatever your response is, that's the response. With the Ace of Wands and Six of Wands, this means that you're seen, you're in the public, or people have access to you, or something that you put out kind of draws in attention, and it kind of puts you in the forefront in a sense for this the future spouse here. But with the Queen of Swords energy, I feel like you create a level of boundaries and balance. It's like once work is done, once the career aspect is done, once you are finished doing your daily duties, you're finished, if this is an actor and actress, once you're finished filming your movie, once you're finished running your business, once you're finished doing your meetings or whatever, when you come home, everything shuts down. There's no spotlight, there's no cameras, there's no eyes, there's no, it's like kind of leave the career and the public energy or whatever out there. And when you're home, there's boundaries. So this Queen of Swords is going to be very protective over her space and over the connection. And because the Queen of Swords energy here is very reserved and private, this person is going to love that because it creates a level of privacy for them, especially if this is somebody who is well known or who is in the public eye and they've had relationships that have been very public, or they will have relationships that have been very public. Being with somebody that's private, that wants to keep their sanity and their peace to themselves, being with somebody who's not with them for their looks, their money, their fame, their career, or their power, being with somebody who's just real and authentic, who's choosing them, who wants them but doesn't need them, is going to be very exciting and arousing to this person. It's going to be very attractive. Because with the Queen of Swords, this is somebody that's honest. They're with you because of what you have on the inside. The Queen of Swords are going to view you as very patient, very loyal, very much somebody with a lot of integrity, somebody that's trustworthy, somebody that's honest, somebody that is very intuitive, somebody that's been through a lot, but it has made you stronger and not weaker or bitter. So this person is definitely going to view you as the prize, and they are going to feel like they have to court you and win you over throughout the course of the connection, which I think is great. Because if this is a King of Wands archetype, King of Wands can get bored easy. right? They can get bored easy and they can decide to move on. But with the Queen of Swords energy, where you kind of always have this vibe of you can take them or leave them, it keeps them holding on. It keeps them invested. It keeps them in the energy of feeling like they're constantly having to get to know you, which they are, because the Queen of Swords, as I stated earlier, is somebody you have to take time to get to know, because the guard is up. So this person, it will always feel fresh. They will always be learning new aspects of you. They may love the way you speak. Your voice may be very assertive and enticing and sexy to them. This authoritative energy, the Queen of Swords here, there could potentially, and I'm getting this message, so I'm going to say it, there could be potentially people in this person's family who may not like the amount of power and authority you have over them, or just people in general may view it this way. But I feel like for this group, it's not going to matter, right? The Queen of Swords, again, I'm getting unbothered from the feminine here. Like she's in her own lane. She's not focused with public recognition, validation, money, looks. None of the status or anything is going to mean a thing to the feminine's drawn to this. It's not going to matter. And that, again, it gives kind of a normalcy to this person's life. It allows this person to let their guard down when they're with you, because they know that there's nothing there. They don't have to worry about you taking advantage of them, worry about you using them for clout, worry about you, just wanting their money, or just viewing them as eye candy, or as this prize that you could put on a mantle to feed your ego. You're not concerned with those things for the feminines. You want what's at the core. So this is an interesting dynamic. Now, I will say this as well. For some of you, you know, this could be someone you knew in the past. This could be somebody you worked with. This could be somebody that you dated. This could be somebody that you were friends with, that you grew up with. This could be somebody perhaps that you may have known them when they were first starting out with the Ace of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and building their wealth. And then maybe as they step into this more spotlight energy, this more powerful, wealthy, abundant energy, they come back around, perhaps for some of you. But I'm definitely getting here that your energy and this person's energy is very different, right? I'm kind of getting like the Ace of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Six of Wands. There's an energy here where the feminine is more stable. She's more grounded. She's more somebody that's focused on peace, harmony, privacy, security, comfort. Her inner intelligence, her wisdom, her spirituality. And the masculine is very focused on career, dreams, goals, abundance, pursuing things. This person is going to be very attracted to the feminine. And I do feel you are going to be attracted to this person. But again, your energy is very stoic for the feminine. It's very stoic, very much somebody who, again, kind of gives, I can take you or leave you, even though I want you, even though I'm in love with you. You know, if you cross the line, I have no problem with leaving. So I feel like this person is not going to be somebody that's going to want to cross your boundaries, because they will know right away that if you leave, you're not coming back. And I feel like this person is going to have to go through so much to win you over, that once they have you and viewing you as the prize, viewing you as someone, they're not going to want to lose you. This person's going to see the value in you. You create a sense of stability and normalcy. That's why I said again, I feel like the feminine here tames the masculine. There's an energy of you having, again, this very quiet storm or quiet type of confidence about you. It feels strong, but it's like you don't have to speak. The feminine here, you feel like you have whip appeal, right? Like this person automatically falls in line. They automatically have their structure. You create a sense of discipline when it comes to this connection. And I feel like with this person may learn how to be more disciplined and kind of stable and slower moving and cautious from you. But I do feel like this person will reach a kind of spark a passion and desire in you that you have not experienced before, or haven't experienced in a while. But I feel like this is going to be a great combination, because the Queen of Swords doesn't trust anyone, and this person is going to pursue you, very seriously, very passionately, very direct. There will be no guessing involved, and I feel like this is going to be somebody that's going to always kind of their love language may be physical touch, where they're constantly touching you and telling you how much they want you, and the intimacy that you experience with this person will be so intense that you'll be able to feel their love and their passion and desire for you, and it's going to continue to be that way. And that kind of constantly reinforces you, not just mentally, verbally and emotionally, but physically, where you can actually see, hear, and feel that confirmation throughout the connection. That's going to keep you in love with this person and invested. And the fact that you're constantly feeling like someone who has to constantly be pursued and chased is going to keep this King of Wands invested. And that's how this connection is going to be able to work. That's where you kind of find this balance, because you're both assertive, but I feel like the way you express it is different. You're both very passionate, but again, the way that it expressed is different. Yeah, you're the feminine here. You are going to have a lot of power over this person. They're going to hold you to a high regard. You're going to be the feminine, you're going to be a very well respected energy. Very, whatever you do for career, but even when it comes to this person, when people view you and acknowledge you, they're not going to just see you as your your person's spouse. They're going to see you as your own independent person who can speak for themselves, who can stand up for themselves, who sets their own boundaries, somebody who potentially more than likely makes their own money, somebody who is not codependent on their spouse. They're going to see you as an extension of you, just yourself. But they're also going to see you as somebody who is also connected with this person. But this is somebody, I feel like the masculine is going to dote and fawn all over the feminine. Like this person's going to always want to touch you. They're going to always want to maybe be whispering different, more intense, intimate things in your ear. Like people are going to know how passionate and how much desire that the masculine has for this feminine energy. They're going to know, they're going to feel it, they're going to see it. This person's not going to hide how they desire you. And it may give the impression that the feminine, or rather that the masculine is more in love with the feminine than she is with them. So for my feminine's drawn, your energy being detached, even though you may love this person deeply, you hide your emotions. You don't express those in any kind of way. So I feel like with this energy, it may suggest that maybe this person is more in love with you than you are with them, but I don't think that's the case. And the your spouse will know that that's not the case, because they'll experience you behind closed doors where you might be more unguarded. But from a public perspective, from people that see you, that know you, they may feel like you have a certain level of control over this person because you're really good in bed, right? They may feel like you have control over this person because of how intimate and passionate the connection is, the way that this person is so attracted to you. They may feel that is directly correlated with the way that you perform, when you guys are alone, in the bedroom. The way they may feel like you're somebody who conquers this person from an intimate perspective, and that maybe you're mind blowing when it comes to that area. But I feel like for you, it's more along the lines where you can read this person mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And I feel like with you being the Queen of Swords, you see down to the core of things. So I feel like you see and understand this person on a level no one else does. Because when you're in the Six of Wands energy, people see more of a surface level perspective. The Queen of Swords sees beyond that. And that's what's going to make this person feel seen, truly seen for the first time in their life. Not for who they show up as, not for the role they play or anything like that, not for their money, their power, their looks, their fame, their whatever. It's you're going to see them for who they are, and that's what you're going to want, the core. That means that they're going to know, no matter if they lose their money, if their fame goes away, the authority, power, whatever this Six of Wands energy is goes away, they know you'll still be there. With this four of Pentacles, you're still going to be there. You're still going to hold on to this. You're still going to invest in this. You're still going to want them, because what you're choosing is them, not what they bring to the table. That's just a bonus. This person is more than likely going to want to spoil you. You may travel a lot. You may, again, go into environments or things or have experiences that you've never had before, because of the access you have to this person's money and the access you have to their power or their fame or whatever this is they bring to the table. But your future spouse is going to be somebody that is very wealthy, honey. I'm getting that strongly. And this person, again, as I stated, they could have been born into wealth, or they could have come from a past where they were slowly building to, build to a Four of Pentacles, and then they got to a certain point where they were then able to use that money to invest in something creative, and then it took them to the level of wealth and power and success. But yeah, I feel like this is a stable person. Even if this is a King of Wands archetype, which is what I'm getting, I feel like there is, again, a kind of a King of Wands meets a King of Pentacles where there is still balance. This is still a loyal person. This is still somebody that is, desiring to have a home life. But I feel like they're not going to actually have that until they meet you for the most part. If any of them have ever been married, again, I don't feel like it was for the right reasons. I'm getting somebody who lives a very shallow life, not because they want to, but because it's what comes with the territory. And you come in not wanting anything that they have except them. You're about integrity, you're about loyalty, honesty, trust, and true devotion. And because that's what you represent, that's how this person's going to show up with you, even if they've never been that way in past relationships. With you, this person will be tamed. They will be structured. They will be disciplined. They will be showing up and doing what they do for work or career. And then when they come home, it's you. You will set boundaries. You'll be protective over your own energy and this connection. People will know not to cross you. If there are women that want this person, you won't have to speak or say anything. This person will make it known, I feel. But also, there's something about your energy where I feel like if women had pursued this person in the past, no matter who they were with, they're not going to try that when they're with you. Something about your energy gives, do not cross me. Like, you don't have to speak. Your energy speaks for itself. Yeah, I like the dynamic here. Yeah, even in this, the way the cards are set up at the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Swords, and her back is to the rest of the cards is to the Six of Wands energy. But the Six of Wands energy is on the horse headed towards the Queen of Swords, passionately pursuing her. It's like this person is being praised, and all these people are seeing them and pursuing them, and this energy is pursuing the Queen of Swords, while she's faced the other way, focused on her boundaries, focused on truth, focused on her responsibilities, focused on herself. If this is somebody that was used to having their way in relationships before, they're not doing that now. This person is going to love you down. Like, this person is going to kiss the ground you walk on for my feminines. They are going to honor you. They're going to view you as somebody that is very much to be respected, to be honored, to be trusted, to be loved, to be spoiled. And you won't have to ask, you won't have to demand. Again, there's going to be a fear of this person where they don't want to lose you because it's so hard to get you, and your energy gives is so hard to get close, and they may have to go through so much to get you that when they have you, they're not going to want to do anything to let you slip through their fingers. Yeah, I like this energy. But yeah, your future spouse is going to definitely be rich. I'm feeling that very strongly here. Based on this energy, this is a wealthy person, somebody creative. They could be an actor, an actress, somebody that starts a creative business. They could be very, I don't know, a famous life coach. I don't know. Maybe you'll meet this person in work. Or again, as I stated, maybe you worked with them before. But for some of you, you may meet them in work, or you may do something where your paths cross, because there's something similar there in what you do. That's possible, but this person is going to be very much devoted to you. They're going to view you as more important than anything and anyone in their life. With all the fame, all the power, even if they're not famous, if they're powerful, if they're wealthy, all the money, none of that compares to the energy and what you bring to them. You're going to give this person the kind of experience where they can you're like their the feminine here is like the comfort for the masculine. You're like the safe haven away from the rest of the world and all of the glitz and glamour, or all the power and the business and the career and the biz and the money. You're like the safe haven. This person feels safe with you. This person, you may have access to all of this person's wealth and abundance. You're going to have their attention like no other. And I don't feel, and this person's going to be very very protective over you and this connection, but I feel like this person's intensely protected over you. This King of Wands archetype energy I'm getting, they are not going to play when it comes to this Queen of Swords. If anybody tries to cross you, even though your energy gives that you can defend yourself, I don't think you'll have to. This person will act quickly to protect you from this public, to protect you from, this work, this career, this family life, whatever it is that tries to come up against you, they will not have it. And I love that for you. But I am going to leave your reading there. And of course, if it resonated on any level, please feel free to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments. And if interested, you may return to the channel. There are other topics, videos, and readings there as well. But other than that, thank you. Welcome to your reading pile 3 regarding will your future spouse be rich? So I've already pre-shuffled. I do prefer to pull 5 cards. 6 cards came through. So we'll go ahead and identify those cards and then we'll get into your reading. So the first card out is the Two of Pentacles followed by the Queen of Pentacles. And then we have the Three of Swords followed by the Seven of Pentacles. And then we have the Knight of Cups followed by the Nine of Cups. Bottom of the deck energy is the Nine of Swords. So really quickly, it does not matter if you're male or female, masculine or feminine energy. The messages should apply no matter what. So for this group, your future spouse is more than likely going to view you as somebody that's very high valued, like a high valued woman, high valued man. They're going to view you as very attractive, very well put together, somebody very respectable and classy. They could view you as somebody that's a bit sensual, but I feel like they're going to love your style, the way you dress, the way you smell, and they're going to see you as somebody that is very much worth the world, somebody that they want to give the world to. They want to provide you with all of these luxurious things that they feel you deserve. And I do feel like maybe for some of you, not all of you, but for some of you, especially the feminines drawn to this, you may have more financial stability when you first meet, or you could be further along in your career or business than your future spouse is. But I do feel like this is a person who will be very romantic, and this is somebody who will be very hardworking. There is going to be financial stability here. I feel like there's going to be equally financial stability and emotional stability and investment. This is a hardworking person, but with the two of Pentacles coming out in the beginning, this is somebody who has a lot of obligations. This is somebody who will be striving to find balance and responsibility. This is a person who, so if you both of you work, your future spouse may not want you to work, or they may not want you to have to work as much as you do. This is somebody who may want to have balance. They may want to, take a lot of the load off from you, or they may want to you to be able to sit down and rest and relax and, not have to worry about anything. But with the Seven of Pentacles coming out, this is somebody that is going to have to be patient. They will be very persevering. This is somebody that is going to eventually reach financial stability and joy and happiness in their work and in their career. It will pay off based on this reading. I do not see that this person will be rich, but this is somebody that is going to be stable. There will be money. There will be comfort in this connection and in your life. But more importantly, this is a very emotional person. This is somebody who is going to be very devoted, very loving, very emotional, very much a support system. This is somebody that is going to view you again a bit on a pedestal. They're going to, maybe with the Nine of Swords at the bottom and the Three of Swords out here, this is somebody who could deal with like a lot of mental and emotional anguish, whether it's in private or openly, about how long it's taking them to reach financial um, freedom, where they can give you the world, where they can give you everything, because we have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles out here, and it's coming out after the Two of Pentacles. And with the Two of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, we went over that. This is somebody juggling to maybe find balance for this Queen of Pentacles energy, or is this Queen of Pentacles trying to find balance? But either way, with the Three of Swords and the Seven of Pentacles, there's heartbreak here with the Three of Swords over how long it's taking, because the Seven of Pentacles is working hard. This is harvesting. This is having found some stability, but not having the amount of financial, abundance you want, not having the Nine or Ten of Pentacles. And this is somebody, kind of having to be patient. right? With the Knight of Cups to give you what you want. Somebody that wants to give you new experiences, that want to be able to have you indulge in the finer things in life that they see you as deserving of. But with the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups, this is somebody who feels like they can offer. It's not that all they can offer is love, it's that in their mind's eye, this is somebody who is very much striving for financial freedom, not just for you, but for themselves. Even before you come along, I feel like this person having financial abundance is going to be very important to them, to be able to live a free life, right? And I feel like this person wants to do that because they want to be able to operate in this Knight of Cups and Nine of Cups energy, where you guys have more time to romance each other, where you guys have more time to spend kind of investing in one another. But with the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Cups coming out, this person will eventually, like I said, reach the Nine of Cups, where they have happiness and joy and in their work, in their career. There's emotional fulfillment in their stability, in their circumstances, and in what they can offer to you. But the Nine of Swords is at the bottom, and the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Cups are polar opposite energies. They may go through a little bit of a slow rise, right? And that could be before they meet you, or that could be when they meet you. But I'm feeling like this may happen early on, and you two may be together once they get there. But this is somebody who is going to maybe overcompensate in the romance area as a way to balance out while they're continuing to build their finances, right? Like somebody that's going to provide stability. The bills will be paid. You may work, they may work. There will be, your I feel like your needs are going to be met, right? Early on. But the sense of financial freedom or the sense of having more than enough is going to come towards, once this person may go through some sort of transformation, and once they may focus more energy on being in a Knight of Cups. So maybe this person will put early on, may work so hard and put so much focus on their finances, because they want to give you so much and they want you both to have so much, that maybe early on they may struggle with finding the focus and the time to operate in a Knight of Cups and Nine of Cups. And then maybe this person goes through a transformation, or they get to a point where they realize, or you tell them, or you both find this balance where they realize that their love, it needs to come in kind of more of a straightforward way, right? Where they realize that their emotions are just as important, if not more so important, than finances. Because I do feel like for this group, especially for the feminines, you may already be a very independent person when you guys meet. Like I said, you could either be further along in your career, or you may have a little bit or a lot more money than they do. And that could maybe cause a little bit of an imbalance there. But essentially, with this, and even some of you could already be parents, so you're already taking care of yourself and other people around you. So they see you as very independent and somebody that doesn't really need them, but they want to provide. They don't want you to have to work. They don't want you to have to do anything for the feminines. They want to be the provider. They want to be the person that takes care of everything, and all you have to do is rest in your divine feminine energy and look beautiful and smell beautiful, and kind of have that time to give to yourself and to those around you. So definitely a very romantic person. This person is going to think very highly of you. They're going to love you to the core. But early on, they may struggle with mental and emotional anguish, maybe putting a lot of pressure on themselves to hurry up and get to financial freedom faster, so they can, with this Knight of Cups, give you new experiences, offer you something that maybe they deem more valuable. But they will come into a point where they're going to realize that your happiness is not solely dependent on the amount of money they have, right? They are going to realize that they can make you happier by being in this Knight of Cups, by being emotionally available, by giving you flowers. It's going to feel like more of the simple things, right? Because the Seven of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups is about reflecting. It's about living in the moment and reflecting on your work, and reflecting on what you've invested and how to move forward. And I feel like this person is going to realize that it's actually the small things that are going to lead to the Nine of Cups, that are going to lead to personal satisfaction and happiness in the both of you. And that's why they go from the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and then it ends with the Nine of Cups at the end of the deck, where they will realize that it's okay to relax and just focus on loving you the best way they can, nurturing you, being honest with you, being vulnerable with you, And that's going to lead to both of you being exceptionally happy. And I do feel like it is going to essentially fuel and get them to this Nine of Cups faster, because Nine of Cups is wishes coming true. It's wish fulfillment. This is having favorable work, where you're doing work that it's emotionally fulfilling for you. Your finances are stable. Your home life is stable. You're happy with your finances. You're happy in your relationship, in your marriage. You're happy and comfortable within yourself. Your self-love is on 10. You're at peace. You're at ease. There's harmony. So there will be bliss and harmony in this relationship. There will be bliss and harmony in your finances. I do feel like with the Nine of Cups, this is having more than enough. It's not the Nine of Pentacles, but it is the Nine of Cups. This is where there is excitement, there is joy, there is satisfaction, and there are no worries and stress in your life. So this person will have the career and the success that they do want, right? They will have that. But I feel like there's a need or a lesson here for this person to kind of balance out the financial and material and career aspect of how they show up in your connection with the emotional aspect. So again, you may find this person becoming even more romantic, or when you first meet, they will overcompensate with their romance and their love and their generosity in terms of their support, their nurturing. This is somebody who will compliment you a lot. They will just love on you in a way that makes you feel warm and accepted and welcomed. And that essentially, like I said, I feel like there's a beautiful balance for this specific group. I definitely feel like there's going to be an intuitive and loving nature to this person, even if whether it comes in the beginning as an overcompensation and then balances out later as they reach their financial stability or abundance, rather, or whether it comes towards the end when they realize that there's a need to give you just as much emotionally as they're trying to give you financially. And that's where they find the balance. But I don't feel like you're going to struggle. I don't feel like there's poverty here. I do feel like both partners may work, but I do feel like maybe the masculine does not want the feminine to work. And that's why this person works so hard, so that they can maybe allow you to just rest in your nurturing energy. But I feel like for this group, the feminines enjoy having that financial comfort. I do feel like even if this person doesn't want you to work, as the feminine, I feel like you desire to work, or you desire to have your own source of income, because there's a very independent energy here to be able to provide for you and others. There's a desire here not to have to rely on anyone else. Very much balanced, very much contributing, but still having your own. So either way, no matter how this person is viewing it, I feel like your energy as the feminine is going to let that person know that you can provide for yourself, you can do for yourself, you can, take care of yourself if necessary. What you desire from them is this Knight of Cups, Nine of Cups. You desire that emotional investment. You desire that time, that energy, the loving conversations, again, the small things, the little gestures, like them making you coffee in the morning, or you maybe having a long day, and when you come home, they give you a big hug and, a gentle kiss, and just kind of, maybe give you a nice back massage or something. There's just like these physical comforts and these emotional kind of gestures that come in that help to create happiness in this person when they realize that they're putting more pressure on themselves because they think that that is what they have to do. They feel like you deserve so much and you already are in this abundant energy, or they're viewing you this way, that maybe they're competing with themselves to get to a point where they can meet you halfway, or they can even supersede you so that you don't have to do as much as you're doing. And they're going to find again a balance. They will find a balance. They will find their success. But again, this may just be a lesson for them, and I do feel like you'll help them. I feel like as they move into this Knight of Cups, Nine of Cups, it's going to come when they have this kind of Seven of Pentacles reflective energy over what's important. And that is essentially what I think is meant to be. Right, but definitely financial stability here. I do feel, again, more than enough. I don't see rich or wealth. It is potential because this is a hardworking person. So maybe at some point down the line, they do essentially hit the 10 of Pentacles or even the 9 of Pentacles. But I feel like for this group with the 9 of Cups coming out and the 7 of Pentacles out here, this is somebody that will harvest financial abundance. But it will be in the sense of just having more than enough, where you have savings, where you're able to travel, where you're able to enjoy, nice luxurious dinners, or give each other, some nice expensive gifts. Not over the top, just enough. There's no concern about bills. There's no concern. It's like, again, you have a safety net, you have savings, you may have investments, you may have things that feed into the household, but there's no stress, there's no anxiety, and there's no worries about responsibilities or structure. And a small few of you could meet at work because of all the Pentacles energy here. But again, we're asking about finances, so that would make sense why there's so much Pentacles. But would you come in as the Queen of Pentacles? Yeah, maybe you may meet them at work. But I do feel strongly, again, they're just seeing you as high valued. They're seeing you as somebody that is hardworking, and they are seeing you as somebody that can strike a balance, somebody disciplined, loyal, faithful. And that beautiful energy in you, they feel deserves the world. It deserves abundance. You deserve luxury. You deserve trips and expensive gifts. And then they realize that, again, as I stated, you also deserve emotional love. You deserve kind gestures. You deserve that vulnerable side of them. You deserve that romance. And that may be what you desire. Because again, if you're in the Queen of Pentacles or even the King of Pentacles energy, you already can provide for you. You know how to work and make money. You know how to keep a stream of income coming in. You know how to be resourceful and find what you need and make it work for you and everyone around you. What you desire is somebody that comes in with that emotional energy, somebody that comes in with that emotional stability, with that comfort, with the nurturing, somebody that can hold you down in an emotional and vulnerable way, that can support you and love on you the way that you love on everyone else. And I do feel like this person is going to provide both finances and emotions, but there may be a balancing out that will take place throughout the course of the connection. Or again, this is something that may happen through the beginning. I do feel like it'll be early on. I don't feel like the connection is going to go that long to get to this point. I feel like it'll happen early on, where you don't have to wait, a long time for them to get to this Nine of Cups, right? But I am going to leave the reading there. And of course, if it resonated, please feel free to like and subscribe. And you can let me know in the comments if you choose. And if interested, you can return to the channel. There are other topics, videos, and readings there as well. But other than that, thank you.